Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, your name and what is your what you are associated with all this. If you can say a little, that would
Totally,
be. Yeah, please.
So I'm Elena Priebus. I work with the Natural Areas crew on Randall's Island. I am both a technician and educator. So I work with the Natural Areas crew. So that means that I am mostly helping in the wetlands area. So we have two salt marshes here on the island, as well as a freshwater wetland. And a lot of what we do is both restoration and conservation. So we do a lot of pulling of invasive weeds and species, and also monitoring. So we do bird monitoring. We go seining. So we're looking at the fish populations, and we're also doing restoration work. So we're planting new native plants to try to help regenerate the soil.
So, what are the different kind of activities? The way in which you people are doing, is it weekly doing, monthly doing? What is the way? Like how you connect to the people, how you bring people along? How is the way that you are doing all this?
Yeah, so one of the big things we do, especially during the summer season, we partner with an organization called the Citizens Water Quality Testing Program. And essentially that is to test a bunch of different sites throughout the city and test the water quality. And we do it on Thursdays so that it can go out to the public. And so people that are boating and swimming can know if it's safe to be in the water for that weekend. So we test 4 different sites along the island so that we can tell people, hey, if you want to be in the water here today, it's either not really safe. We're testing for enterococcus. So we're saying either it's okay or it's not okay to be in the water today.
But then mostly I see that everybody is trying to do the testing of the in the dry season, like enterococcus when you see. But what about the wet days, and mainly about the CSOs, which is flowing?
Yeah. So we do it on Thursdays because of the fact that we want people to be able to know for the weekend, and that is mostly the extent of our like water testing for that program. We do it regardless of if it's rained or not recently, so we do see that influx in enterococcus obviously right after it's rained. So regardless, but we're not like going out and testing immediately after a rainstorm just to see, really.
But this time the rains are very scanty. They're not rain only. So what do you feel this time that what will be the situation? And just going with that, suppose it's in it's not rain, but then what do you feel that still drainage is not discharging in the rivers, if at all it's not raining?
Yeah, we do see like there is a very clear pattern that essentially what we typically see is like it takes about 2 days for the water to flush itself out after a rain, which is increasing the sewage, all of that stuff. And that's just kind of the general pattern we see. Obviously, that's not like an exact science. So yeah, we're not like specifically going just during rainy times and like seeing that, but we do like notice.
It is it's a threat feeling that when there is no rains, like Mississippi is also reported to be getting dried. And many other places. So what do you feel this time? What about here? The place where we are standing is the Randall Island, and here one side Harlem is flowing, another side is East River flowing.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I see that both the rivers, they come and they meet in the Hudson, in the upper bay. So what do you feel after the testings which you do on the Thursdays? You say that is the water safe, or how is it?
Yeah, actually, so especially in the areas that we are testing, we oftentimes do have it completely safe. Like you would be able to swim, you would have no harmful effects. So for the most part, the water is actually really good, except for right after it rains, pretty much. Yeah.
Small children, like even I'm associated with early childhood centers, where from the very childhood that their mind has to be harnessed for nature love and protection. So when you people are doing any kind of activities with the small children, what are you doing and how are you trying to nurture their minds?
Oh yeah, so one of the really awesome things that I think we do here is that we offer education classes completely free to students. And so we get a lot of students from Harlem, Queens, and the Bronx. And with my department, so there's 2 offerings. You can either go to the urban farm where they learn about like planting and edible education.
Wow.
If the kids, yeah, that happens a lot. So when students come to us, though, what we mostly do is we take them into the wetland, into the salt marsh right over there. And the big thing we do is we show them fiddler crabs, which is our like number one animal in that space. We also set out traps for them so that they can see the fish. They get really hands-on education, so they get to learn about the plants, the animals that live there, the tides. They get to see the water coming in and coming out. They get to watch us pull the trap up, see the fish that are there.
So are you doing that along with the parents, or it's with only the students?
It's usually school groups, so like a class from a school will come. Occasionally we'll get like kind of specialty groups, and it's kind of up to them. Sometimes we have like chaperones that are parents, but it's mostly students and teachers.
So it's with which foundation that you are collaborating and doing this?
It's just through Randall Island Park Alliance,
Okay.
our organization, and then we have an education coordinator who reaches out to schools, or schools can reach out to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Little Hellgate Bridge. So a little bit of background about this salt marsh. This was created in 2008. So this is a made salt marsh. So the history of the island is relatively interesting. It was actually 3 islands originally, and then during like the Robert Moses era, when they were building all the highways, they put all of the landfill here. And so we are standing on just like fill, essentially. And so it turned into one giant island, and then in 2008 they tore this back up. So this actually would have been the channel, like the natural channel. And you can tell because the Hellgate Bridge, if you look over here, the circles on the top of that one and that one, those are indicators for boats. So that is where the channels would have been. So yeah, we're standing on what would have been water. And so, yeah, in 2008, they built the salt marsh here, and it's just kind of been a work in progress ever since. Where we stand today, it's actually doing really well. We have a lot of the native plants here, a lot of Spartina grasses instead of the frag, so we've kind of almost gotten the battle won against the frag. And yeah, just a lot of like really awesome pollinator plants in the higher zones. Yeah, and so we can just walk around if you want. Once we get closer to the water, we can do some testing. Whatever you guys want today. Yeah, that's and so this is kind of the last spot where frag has kind of taken over. So what we've been doing here, this is a spot that floods pretty regularly at high tide. So we have some of the kind of bushy things that you're seeing there. We've just planted some marsh elder. And then we have 2 of the Spartinas. We have the alterniflora and the patens over there that we just planted. Hopefully it's going to take, and in the spring it'll look a lot better. But you can also see the frag is, once again, coming back up the Phragmites grass. Yeah.
Let's fight. He's invasive.
Yeah, it just does not want to quit. It's like scattering.
It's like a fiddler crab, like nursery. I remember the first
It's
time.
so
I thought it
awesome.
was like, there's a lot of spiders. And then I'm like, wait, these are not spiders.
Yeah.
These are baby crabs.
They're so cool.
I know.
so they are there, fiddler crabs and all of that?
Yeah, the fiddler crabs are all over this area. Anywhere
Okay.
it's muddy and you're going to find a fiddler.
Okay.
It is definitely that is one of our big things for the education groups when we have kids coming. They love the fiddler crabs. It's a very great way to just kind of show them, like they can very clearly see the gender and all of that kind of stuff.
I was looking at some of the tides when I was like on the bus, and they got really high this year.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Oh, sweet! Don't worry, you'll find a lot more. What'd you say?
oh yeah, that only makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. technically the line is at the end of Randall's. It turns into the East River.
Okay.
So we can go in here first if we like.
Okay.
The other one just going in there like I know I had like this permission to just do
Yeah.
I needed to go.
That's what we tell people all the time. We're like, you could easily get over this.
I was just like, tell the people this is bad. I'm gonna come and be like getting big in space.
What is that pipe releasing then? That pipe is put for what? From there, some
Drainage from the park.
drainage coming from the park? That pipe opening there? Discharge?
Yeah, so that is just an overflow drain, I believe. I'm actually not that familiar with what that is. We don't have any like sewage drains here.
But there,
So
there
I
is
think that's
something
just like a
flowing,
natural
flowing,
drain.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why our water is usually relatively clean. Yeah, so on good days, so we test in the summer months. We test once a week. We'll be in the testing program, and for the most yeah, only a third of it is like actually psychiatric.
That's $1 in the morning that potentially.
Well, it's so giant that like a third of it is.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a place that we definitely like to stop with students, just because a lot of students like recognize Harlem, and the Target is now gone, but that's like a great, like a lot of people know the Target over there, so it's like very fun to be like, oh, I know where I am now, like I know where I am in relation to like my home or places I've been, and then over here it's nice to be able to see the zones. Like high marsh, low marsh. It's very easy to tell, especially right now when the grasses have started to change color. So yeah, this is a nice little spot for sure.
She's the person to talk about volunteering with.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
You have suggested the videos or anything like that? Because I don't like that. It's like, yeah. And then people are gonna stay young, but
Yeah.
I was, I don't know, exploring resins and stuff like that. I think it could be nice.
Yeah, we have a couple of like specimens we bring out for tours that are season. I don't know who made them. They do look homemade though.
I was just thinking like, I remember when we were doing
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You,
Yeah, very cool.
you brought the probes and sensors?
Yes.
So we can do it here.
Yeah, definitely. I know, it's so awesome. Nice.
I remember after the fire.
Yeah, this is what I thought there were those spiders that then turned out to be.
Yeah, so if you if guys are interested in doing any kind of water testing, we have two of the probes that we have here.
Yes.
That actually work, yes.
Since you actually have the full setup unlike me. I'll try. It's just crazy to me. I think also for the students when they come to see that the tide when it comes up and when it goes down is like so obvious.
So different, yeah. So where we're standing will absolutely be fully
Completely
submerged.
covered, yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool for sure.
I miss the little crabbies.
I know. Yeah, maybe on our walk back we can go into the drain area and see if any are out right now.
But it literally looks like I'm seeing that. Oh, look at the bird! I think.
I believe those are both chokeberries. I think they're red chokeberry trees. Don't quote me 100% on that. Don't go feasting on them. But that is like another common tree for us, and they look like that from here.
So here also school students come and they see all these.
Yeah, yeah. So we, on the natural areas team, we average about three classes a week,
Okay.
and it can be any grade level, and they can kind of choose what they want their focus to be. So we could talk about insects, plants, just animals in general, and then the wetland as well.
So are we have we done any kind of curriculum designing or anything with any schools or anyone to teach this?
Yeah, so Ashley is our education coordinator, and she does the majority of the planning for that. And there's just been years worth of people coming and designing curriculum and kind of honing it in. We're trying to fight the Phragmites that's growing abundantly, as you can see here.
So what is this place called then now?
This is just the freshwater wetland, we call it.
So here also the work is going on as same as they you are doing.
Yeah,
Trying
it's less of a priority. In the freshwater wetland right now, we're more focused on removing invasive trees and replanting for that.
Good.
This area is very difficult because it has such a strange flooding pattern, because it really is just based off of rainwater.
Yeah.
So you can't really do a lot of the marsh plants that you would have that require either like salt or need like daily flooding. And so that's why frag grows so abundantly and so well here, because it is so tolerant and resilient to these changes that a lot of plants can't handle.
I think I'll get that board's picture from there.
No, it kind of depends on which rain. It's only getting watered during the rain. And then it stays flooded after intense seasons of rain. So it's really hard to get plants that can tolerate that, other than Phragmites and other things we don't necessarily want. China. And so when you lose it, you lose fiddler populations a lot of the time as well. Yeah, and a lot of these animals are like adaptable. Like fiddlers will still live there when there's Phragmites. But yeah, it just encourages like native populations as well.
Is that onion grass that I see a lot in like Central Park lawns? Is that also invasive?
I don't know. I'm going to assume yeah, though. I think like a lot of grass. These grasses are all
Oh,
like lawn grass is not a really native thing here. It's just more we brought it in for aesthetic.
Guys, I'm gonna take you in for a cleaning day. We have to go to the Bronx Hills now.
Oh, yeah,
But,
we
you
can
know,
keep
there's a
going
lot
this
of
way.
volunteering cleaning stuff. But much here appreciating.
But still, people keep on throwing all this, so their behavior has to be changed first.
Oh yeah, yeah. We get a lot of trash in this area
Yeah.
all the time, especially by the bus stop. And there's just so much activity here. So this is the FDNY training area. So the fire department, the police have a training area.
So this is police training area.
This one, like
There's
this
some
area, actually,
security.
that's the fire department training area.
Okay.
They almost over-engineered it, so it's pretty much an indestructible bridge. Like it's going to survive just about everything.
Okay. When was this built?
I actually don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay.
It is very old. It's older than like the island being rebuilt and everything.
So it's the longest.
It was at the time like the biggest bridge that like at least in the city that was being built, which made people very nervous.
Okay. So these are what plant it is put up here.
I don't know what's going on here. I am not really privy to that
Okay.
part.
Because here also I guess some kind of a treatment or something is happening with the
Yeah, I don't get it.
treatment
And
part.
so right here you can see better that's the Con Ed plant straight ahead.
Okay.
You can get a better glance of it here. Yeah, so welcome. This is our second salt marsh. This is the Bronx Kill salt marsh. So it is also doing really well. You'll see there's a lot of the Spartina grasses. But unfortunately, like I said before, this is the area that is going to be torn up. So starting in the fall, we are going to lose this marsh. They have already done a lot of the research work. So they've had their people and their companies come in and see what our salt marsh is doing. They've taken inventory of all the plants that we have here and are trying to recreate it once they finish tearing it up. It is a pipeline for some sort of renewable energy for the Con Ed plant. So on one hand, it's good. It's encouraging renewable energy and it's making accessible. On the other hand, it's a bummer for us. We're losing our beloved salt marsh, but they are going to recreate it when they're done and add more to it. So that is good.
What is the complete idea of what they are going to do with the renovating, or what? How are they going to?
So basically, they need. Oh, how are they going to recreate it?
Yeah.
I am not entirely sure. I think it's just on them to build the land back up to like acceptable levels and replant these native grasses. I am not very privy to how that exactly goes down or what the actual plan is for that.
So what is that company which is there?
I don't know. I don't know what the company is. I don't know. Those guys might just be like out here. Like we have people that come for clams and stuff. It kind of looks like that's maybe what that guy is doing.
No, not this guy. That
Oh.
that company which we can see
that's
that
Con Edison.
chimney sort of.
Con Edison.
What is that?
It is a. They do like electric and gas in the city, I believe.
Okay.
They're like the biggest. Like nearly everyone uses Con
But then,
Edison.
then but then their discharge also, wastewater or cooling thing, with whatever that's happening, all that must be released. In
I don't know exactly what that plant
because
is doing.
all these plants are, see, most of the time on the river bank only such type of plants are given permission. And then definitely that kind of release. But then I understand in New York City there is a lot of very strict policies, rules, which people say that they are not violating, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would not be able to answer that without knowing a little bit more about Con Ed, even what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Treatment plant, and I was trying to ask the same thing because this is all East River, right? Yeah, because it's
Yes,
treatment plant
sure.
is there, that is East River.
Yes.
So now, besides the East River, these companies and the treatment plant, so all kinds of the pollutants which are there, they say it is not being released, but I feel so. I don't know if anybody has made any study about these wetlands, because as you say, now they are going to recreate this. So recreation means what? It has to naturally get recreated, and by only following the norms. If suppose these companies or others are there, if they are actually they are following the norms of release of good water in this, then the situation would not have become this way. Even this person who's trying to, I think he's collecting clams, you said?
I have no idea what he's doing.
So whatever it is,
Yeah.
like those people can tell us how in these days, like how things have changed in this place.
Yeah.
Since the time these establishments have come up, how this has changed.
Right.
Because if this was a very good established wetland, so why now that what is the reason why you want to recreate, and why it should be recreated in an unnatural manner?
Sure, like why is it so
Yeah,
important
because
to be
what I have seen the design on the website of this, what you call it as Bronx Hill.
Bronx Hill, yeah.
And so I have found it that they are going to create some, like on the sides, people are going to walk with the concrete, some pathway sort of they are going to make and all. But that's not
really?
going to, that's not going to help. I'll share with you that Bronx Hill, whatever
Sure.
the design and other things. And there is all minutes and everything is there in that. Like what has been planned, what the meetings have happened, of that all details are there.
Yeah.
So that you will get an idea about that.
Yeah.
Feeling like people too.
Yeah, so welcome.
Welcome to.
World of
I
wetland.
did not realize
Exactly.
that there was an
Bronx
yeah,
Hill.
I was actually with the students. One summer I was on the other side where you really cannot get in.
Yeah.
Is the wasp not stop?
We did spray it at one point. I think it's just like not wasp active as much. But they did not really seem affected by the spray, to be honest.
They were like, they laughed at your spray.
They were like around here, right? Yeah, they were right under that rock right there.
They wasps. They laughed at your spray and said, we're not
Truly. If you wanted to use the probes again and test here, we are
yeah.
absolutely able to do that.
We can do that.
I can
water
also.
as nice and clean as the
Yeah,
other
we can.
one?
We find that this one is a little bit more delayed for like when we do our water quality testing. This one stays like higher levels of enterococcus than the other. I think this just kind of has like a natural like water.
From the river?
I have no idea beyond that.
I think that's the only thing that they test because I think this one comes also from the Harlem River and I think that
Yes, yes.
a lot of those.
This side it is east coming, this side it is Harlem meeting.
Yeah, because that's the ocean. That's
Yeah,
the,
yes,
Long Island
yes,
Sound,
yes.
but we also have it coming up from the ocean from the south.
And I can see. Let me see if I can grab a fiddler crab. We also have them over here.
They have babies here too. This is actually, sometimes I chose. What is just something that can be in this thing, or is that something?
There's like 2 bees and a wasp there.
Guys, be careful.
Sometimes please be careful if you fall in If you fall in, we're just gonna have a video to see where the current takes you.
Yeah, you see?
She got few fiddlers.
Yo, there used to be a water.
Are you looking for a male?
Yeah.
I wanna go and spy. Sorry.
You can go that way.
I think go that way. Come back.
Look. Oh my god. You know, it's very mushy here.
Yeah. People go through there a lot.
I mean, that's why we brought the food.
Don't venture there. It is.
Well, here's one. Female. Yeah.
Oh, it's live.
This is like what's happening. Humans.
Inside. That's where I've been keeping it.
You guys bring lime?
Yeah, I did. He did. He's gonna
Not a big
nibble my
breakfast.
sandwich.
I'm not. Where are we gonna eat lunch at?
All right, don't fall in. You can't swim.
In the big field.
I know. I think I can touch and still drown. I'm gonna put it back down.
I wouldn't be surprised. They have GPS on seamless and stuff.
No, they don't come all the way here. So if you order food, you have to go to the pistachio bridge to pick it up.
The pedestrian.
And that's why they look different. So the other
Okay.
one was the female.
Okay.
So we've only seen these
Right.
ones like twice.
I'm gonna try to put it in my hand, but it's
Here,
probably
Pacific shore crab.
Yeah.
Technically invasive.
Okay. So there, this chilla, that indicates.
right.
Yeah.
That's
so
a male.
that is male.
That's why they call it fiddler.
Okay.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
And what is in her?
I believe this is a Pacific shore crab. I don't see
Yeah,
these very
yeah, it's
often.
like
But they have a very different body.
I'm gonna ask for the picture to put on iNaturalist if it's okay with you afterwards.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So that we can officially put in that.
Yeah. So they're technically
Put it ulta. Yeah.
yeah, we can even just get it here.
Good night.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, it's much
It's a male.
yeah. And then here I can even open
This
it.
is a different. Yeah.
yeah.
love that.
Yes.
He's like, I was resting.
Everything. And then the people said,
Did they put them on heartworm for the insect meds?
It's high here.
they give them the reputation plus gold.
Probably it will go down.
Did they give you the one that's monthly or did they give you the one that's
Monthly.
so with when it comes to
That salinity also we can check. Little water if we can.
Sorry?
Salinity also we can check.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Sorry?
Medication is only up to 40 pounds. It's actually not put enough covered. So yeah, so like definitely you have to continue to get them reweighed. It's not as crazy with cats. Cats usually spend
You got that, Mercy?
You're getting the one for cats because cats and dogs cannot.
Hey, will you please hold this? Switch it off. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm not able to switch off. Be careful, be careful. Here on this. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you definitely could use like any of the filter feeders. We have never made like a
You got
really
any mollusk?
concentrated.
Mollusk?
Yeah, they're kind of like stuck.
Okay,
in,
stuck.
But it looks like potentially
Okay.
mussels, but they're not the normal black one. Or maybe they're clams, but the way that it's sticking out. Water on there. I'm so used to this little tiny bit.
Yeah. You know, because we're bioflux, so we do stuff.
But yeah, no, when it comes to that, I'm like,
So we can like show the other science of fishing animals.
Yeah, so
So brown skill, wetland we saw. Here it is all sunken meadow athletic fields. And there we see treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant.
oh, this is